I feel the need for speed. Tom Cruise in the 1986 Top Gun. When the cameras aren't rolling, he's got a fleet of cars that would still get his adrenaline pumping. Enough with the exposition. Let's dive right into the breathtaking world of Tom Cruise four-wheeled treasures, including the ride he was banned from buying another car. Number 1. 1979 Porsche 928. Here's a fun fact. Tom Cruise is a big Porsche guy. He's got a fleet of them, all unique in their way. However, from his expensive Porsche collection, one stands out for sentimental reasons and, dare I say, cultural impact. That Porsche is this guy right here, a 1979 928. If Tom cruising around in this guy looks familiar, that's because it very much is. Everyone remembers Risky Business, right? Tom's big break? Well, if you remember the movie, then you definitely can't forget that one scene where Tom drowns his dad's Porsche in Lake Michigan. You know what Porsche that was? Exactly. But there's a little twist to it. The real car from the movie was sold in 2021 for a whopping $1.6 million. And no, Cruise didn't actually own this one. He had a different 928, one he bought from a local dealership immediately after filming on Risky Business Wrapped, free from fish and the footwells and damp velour. The Mission Impossible star even called it therapy for teenage killed, whatever that meant. Don't be fooled though. The 928 is more than just 80s nostalgia. This beauty is an 80s icon. A front-engine GT car with pop-up headlights and a spaceship vibe. What about another fun fact? What you're looking at, even decades later, remains the company's only front-mounted V8 coupe. Can you believe that? In addition to that, the 928 was initially designed to be the 911's replacement. It was more luxurious, less quirky, and a lot easier to drive, yet the 911's appeal endures. As for Cruise though, this is still his guy, and let's find out why. Sporting a 4.5-liter water-cooled V8 engine that purrs like a well-fed lion, the 928 is capable of reaching a top speed of 165 miles per hour. Not particularly Top Gun speed, but it would do just fine on the roads. In terms of acceleration, this Porsche will go from 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds. This beauty also features a 5-speed manual and 3-speed automatic transmission. And Tom seems to be more than content with what the 928's got under its hood. He's been spotted driving it to Malibu coffee shops, often with a baseball cap pulled low. Well, Porsche clearly has not banned him. He still has other Porsche models gathering dust in his collection. So our mystery car remains just that, a mystery. But these other Porsche models won't. Number 2. Porsche 911 996. Tom loves his Porsche, especially his 928, but there's still one Porsche model that he loves even more than the famous 928, the one Porsche that might live forever, the 911. The Vanilla Sky star is a noted fan of the 911 and has been spotted driving several generations of them over the years. However, one generation spends more time outside Tom's garage than the others, the 996. Apparently, he's got a black 996, which he reportedly bought brand new. Remember when we said the Porsche 911 would live forever? Yeah, you can go right ahead and attribute that to this bad boy. The 911 996, the 5th generation of the 911 models, was produced from 1997 to 2007, marking a major transition to water-cooled engines and a larger, more modern exterior. Well, hearing this, you'd think that this instantly made this model every gearhead's four-wheel dream, but that wasn't the case. The 911 996 gained mixed reputations as the years went by thanks to its controversial exterior, the transition from trustworthy air cooling to water cooling, and several parts shared with the much cheaper Boxsters. These parts included the bonnet, front headlight units, indicators, fog lights, front wings, and doors. All that controversy made the 911 996 even more popular. As they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Plus, despite the controversy, it actually was, in every objective sense, better than the 993 generation it had replaced. It was a lot faster, it was economical, and its handling was sharper. All these probably went into why Cruise broke the bank for this beauty. Under the 911 996's hood is a 3.4-liter naturally aspirated flat-six engine capable of unleashing up to 415 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 415 pound-feet of torque at 2,700 RPM. This power propels the 911 to a top speed of 190 miles per hour with a 0 to 60 time of just 4 seconds. Quite impressive, wouldn't you agree? Still not Top Gun level, but we're getting there. Nevertheless, the 996 still lacked acceptance among purists, which may have resulted in low resale values, making the 911 996 the cheapest way into 911 ownership. Cruise obviously never worried about this when he got this beauty back in the 90s. Let's take a break from Porsche, shall we? Number 3. 1949 Buick Roadmaster. If you thought the Porsche 928 was the only ride Cruise took from a movie he was in, then you're so wrong. In 1988, Cruise starred alongside Dustin Hoffman in the critically acclaimed movie Rain Man, but it wasn't just both of them. there was a third star that would end up being a part of Cruise's impressive garage, a 1949 Buick Roadmaster. The Top Gun Maverick star instantly fell in love with the convertible and decided to keep it and use it offset on a couple of cross-country road trips. Fun fact, 2 Buick Roadmasters were used in filming the movie, with one recently being auctioned off at Bonhams many years later, and the Roadmaster is still an absolute favorite among purists. This flagship Buick was quite innovative back in its day, with patented venti ports to cool the engine off and the very first pillarless hardtop. No need to thank us for the little history lesson. Its design, even all these decades later, is still a head-turner. The Roadmaster's front grille has been described as toothy, and upon its launch, several journalists joked that an oversized toothbrush had to be bought on the side. As for the hunk of metal powering this beauty, you've got a 320.2 cubic inch straight engine capable of unleashing a meager 150 horsepower. In terms of speed, the Roadmaster is definitely not going to quench Cruise's need for speed. With its standard Dynaflow transmission, this classic can reach a top speed of only 110 miles per hour. So if you're wondering why Cruise went ahead to get this guy, only one answer works. The Roadmaster will always be a great car. In fact, the actor has been spotted cruising around in the 49 Roadmaster even recently. For going fast, Cruise obviously got other options, like number 4. 2010 Mustang Saleen S281. There aren't many rides that represent the spirit of American manufacturing better than a Ford Mustang. But for Tom Cruise, he wasn't going to get any old Mustang. Instead, he went out of his way to add a Saleen Mustang S281 to his collection. And in just a few minutes, you'll find out just how Cruise went out of his way for this guy. For the Saleen Mustang S281, Tom did something he normally wouldn't. He got this American muscle completely tuned up. We're talking new wheels, suspension, body panels, and even luxurious interior, all coming together to help differentiate Cruise's Saleen from its regular Ford badge sibling. If there's one thing we can all agree about Tom, it's that he never does low-key. So he had his Saleen exterior covered in neon orange. It's the color of adrenaline, Cruise told GQ in 2012. When this guy drives by, it just screams, "Look at me," louder than his stunts in the Mission Impossible franchise. And Cruise's over-the-top modifications also extends to the hunk of metal in its hood. With the car's 4.6-liter V8, it's been modified to roar up to 550 horsepower, all thanks to the California tuners Cruise enlisted to work on this bad boy. Pound for pound, there are very few cars capable of delivering such tire shreddable. Speed-wise, we're actually completely in the dark because of all the modifications the actor has done. However, the standard Saleen Mustang can reach a top speed of about 154 miles per hour. So Tom's S281's top speed is definitely going to be north of this. Bet you've been itching to find out just how Cruise went out of his way to get this in his collection. Well, let's get that cat out of the bag, shall we? In 2011, one night at the New York premiere of Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol, Cruise realized that he actually needed to arrive in style. He realized that to do just that, he needs this American muscle. Problem though, the S281 was still an LA solution. Rather than just give up, the star actor paid over $13,000 to have it air freighted right in time for the premiere. Priorities, right? The best part? It came in right on time. He got to drive it to the event, pose for pictures, then handed the keys to a valet. All done in style. And don't think that he only uses this guy when he wants to make a splash. Believe it or not, Cruise hops in the Mustang for daily errands, possibly at speeds that would force his passengers to shut their eyes in fear. The perfect guy to deal with his need for speed. Number 5. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS. Question: what could be better than one American muscle? 2 American muscle cars. And even Tom Cruise knows this, as he continues the trend of owning cars he starred alongside in his movies. Remember this Chevy from the first Jack Reacher movie? Yep, this is the same one, a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle. This might have featured more recently in the Jack Reacher film, but what you're looking at is one of Cruise's earliest automotive acquisitions. The 70 Chevelle SS is one of the most highly revered muscle cars from its era, and it can even be found in the garages of a fair share of celebrities, including that of fellow actor and gearhead Vin Diesel. So yeah, this is one special ride. Cruise's Chevelle is actually the SS396 model. While not much, Cruise and this guy have a bond. Remember when we said the Chevelle SS was one of his earliest automotive acquisitions? Well, how about we let you in on just how early. He got this beauty long before Top Gun. In fact, on a number of occasions, Tom would drive his Chevelle SS right to auditions, windows all the way down and radio blasting all the way up. So it made sense that when Jack Reacher needed a ride, Cruise insisted on using his personal baby. In an interview, the actor once said, "That car is powerful. No frills, all power." And the truth is, he couldn't be more spot on. We definitely have to take a peek at what this guy's packing now. At its core is pure American thunder, a 6.5-liter 402 cubic inch V8 engine capable of unleashing up to 375 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. Yup, that's enough power alright. This muscle car slices through air at a top speed of 130 miles per hour. Definitely not the fastest Tom's been in. Acceleration-wise, it's no slouch either, going from 0 to 60 in just a little over 6 seconds. By now, you should have understood that speed wasn't the only factor that made this guy special. The '70s Chevelle SS was just elegant, and thanks to the Jack Reacher movies, people got to understand just that. After the movie, Chevelle sales went up 27%. Cruise was a couple of decades ahead of the rest of the world, no biggie. And there's another Chevrolet from where this one came. Number 6. 1958 Chevrolet Corvette C1. Any serious Chevy collector or even a basic petrolhead knows your car collection should have at least one Corvette. Well, Tom Cruise knows this, so he broke the bank for a Chevy classic. A 1958 C1 Corvette, a true collector's gem. Time for a little history lesson. While the Corvette has definitely established itself as a bona fide icon today, it really struggled to sell during its time, partly because it threaded the line between a proper sports car and a luxurious grand tourer. People just couldn't get into what they didn't fully understand. At the time, folks were only interested in one or the other. So, what exactly is the Corvette C1? It's a mix of both, a first-generation Corvette sports car. Of course now, people understand what makes this one concept vehicle so special. The Corvette is a performance legend, but it's the low sales number of these initial C1s that make them so desirable among several collectors today. The 1958 model year, the exact model Cruise bought, went through a major glow-up to make it a lot more appealing to buyers. From the introduction of the dual headlight design for the first time to revising its entire interior. Well, there's no doubt the 58 Vet takes pride of place in Cruise's garage. In fact, close your eyes and picture this. A two-tone glacier blue and white drop-top Vet with silvery leather seats. Yep, that right there is what you'd expect a real-life Maverick to cruise around in. The Edge of Tomorrow's star model isn't just a classic piece though. Under the hood, the C1 packs a 283 cubic inch valve in-head V8 engine capable of unleashing 290 horsepower. With that power, this beauty can reach a top speed of around 130 miles per hour. How did this love story even begin? Rumor has it that Cruise fell in love for this guy on the set of Risky Business. He even went as far as spending years hunting down a mint-condition C1. Seems like all that hard work paid off. Well, 6 breathtaking rides later, and it's time to reveal our mystery mobile. The one Cruise has been banned from buying. And finally, number 7. Bugatti Veyron. For a collection like Cruise's, brimming with classics, it only makes sense he goes all in for a true speed demon. And that's where this beauty comes in, a Bugatti Veyron. Sadly, he definitely won't be getting another one after a strange turn of events, which resulted in him allegedly getting banned from buying another one. Time for a really funny story. Cruise reportedly bought himself a brand new Veyron for $1 million, making it the most expensive ride in his collection. He then decided to turn heads at the premiere of Mission Impossible 3 in his new Bugatti, with like a million cameras all primed to capture his arrival. It all started off so smoothly. Cruise stepped out of his ride, acknowledged the press for a quick minute, then went to open the passenger door for his then-wife Katie Holmes to get out. And that's when the trouble came knocking. The trouble was, as quirky as this may sound, for some reason Cruise couldn't get the door open. It appeared that the actor could scale off the top of the Burj Khalifa, climb all the way to the Dead Horse Point, but just couldn't get that car door open from the outside. For 5 agonizing minutes, he jabbed buttons, pulled handles, and muttered words we can't even think of repeating on here until he finally managed to get it open. The incident was obviously caught and distributed worldwide, causing great embarrassment for Bugatti. This allegedly led Cruise to being added to Bugatti's blacklist, meaning that the Veyron would forever be the only model from the French automaker he'd ever own. Sure enough, the actor has never been seen cruising around in a new Bugatti model. Nevertheless, this guy is more than just one giant premiere disaster. Cruise actually loved driving the Veyron, and it's not at all difficult to see why. Sporting an 8-liter quad-turbocharged W16 engine, by far the most powerful engine in Cruise's awesome collection, what you're looking at is able to produce 1,001 horsepower and 922 pound-feet of torque. Compared to this, every other ride in the actor's garage seems like featherweights now. The Veyron would speed off to a top speed of 253 miles per hour and hit 60 in just 2.5 seconds. In fact, the Veyron was once named the 2000s Car of the Decade by Top Gear. Quite the title and a mind-blowing end to a mind-blowing tour. Tom Cruise's garage is a time machine through Hollywood history, sprinkled with just enough adrenaline and oops moments to make it near unforgettable. And hey, if Bugatti won't sell him another car, at least he's got a couple to make him feel better.